Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on another Culture Cast. Today we're joined with Steve Brown. He's one of our newer agents here at the office and he's absolutely killing it. We're going to find out what he's doing, what his secrets are, maybe not all the secrets, but some of the secrets, what he's doing to make himself so successful. So, without any further ado, Steve, tell us about yourself, brother.
Name is Stephen Brown. I actually grew up in Rahway. I know Lewis from high school.
Rahway High.
Rahway High School.
Roughway.
In Prison City, they used to call it. But I actually am a full-time teacher. I got into real estate, I think it was like 2008, 2009, our paths crossed. Yeah. And you tried to convince me then to go into sales and stuff like that. And I just wasn't there at that time mentally. Mm-hmm. And fast forward 10 years later, I run into Harry Page, who was another friend of mine from growing up in Broadway, and he was over here doing quite well. Started his own team here, started making the steps toward to get my real estate license, and definitely was the best decision I did. It's perfectly fits into my schedule as a full-time teacher and a football coach. So I had my license since August and done pretty well so far, to say the least. So.
Well, compared to most people, you're doing excellent. Like a lot of people in the first year, including myself, you don't do too many sales. If you do a few sales in your first year, like you're very lucky. Consider yourself very lucky. It's all about learning. And so far, I lost track of how many closings you've had. And just the other day, you had 2 closings in one day. Now, how did that feel? Like?
Yeah, it was good. It worked out to. We were actually supposed to originally close on one deal the Friday before, it just got pushed back, and to the same day that I was already doing another closing. So it worked out perfect, and I have some flexibility with my job. I'm able to take some days off. My principal's actually a realtor, and to have 2 closes in one day was pretty amazing, I guess. Yeah, it was. I wasn't nervous like the first one, so I kind of knew what to expect. Yeah. But the whole adrenaline of having 2 in one day was kind of amazing. Yeah.
Now you've been specializing in buyers, right? I think you've been doing very well with buyers, and there's a lot of people out there who think that working with buyers is like a bad thing, and you're gonna waste your time. There's an art to it, just like anything else, and I'm sure that you've figured out like some patterns and some things to look out for. Like, what can you tell us that you think the number 1 sign of a good buyer or a bad buyer is before you work with them?
Training with Tom. He gave us.
Now tell us who Tom is.
Oh, Tom's the man. Tom is he's actually a retired teacher and football coach, and he did real estate as well. He did real estate probably about the same amount of time he taught and coached football, but. We trained with him. I trained with him a lot before I even got started, which I thought was really key to me, being able to walk right into this and not have to learn as I go. I learned a lot of stuff before I really even got my license, but we trained with him, every Wednesday or every other Wednesday now, and it goes through dialogue and signs, telltale signs that buyers give you, whether they're really serious or not, what questions to ask them to probe, their seriousness and stuff like that. And so just listening to those suggestions that he gave me, obviously listening to Harry's suggestions and stuff like that, taking your suggestions as well. I've always been kind of good with talking with people. I do it a lot with, as the teacher, talking with parents, students, etc. But just being honest with people and asking them really straightforward questions, telling them what I can do for them, and then telling them what I need for them to do, and then just explaining the whole process, being thorough and explaining what they think they should know about the whole process, not assuming that they know stuff. I made that mistake once, assuming that a buyer knew something, and they did it, and it cost me that client, but I learned from it, But yeah, just being honest with people and just finding out exactly what they want and just trying to give them what they want, you know what I'm saying? And then once you give them something that they want, they're more entailed to give you what you need from them and stuff like that. So
some people think that being a good salesperson means having somebody buy something that they don't want to buy. That's not the case, is it? You're just helping people towards their goal and educating them along the way, right? Is that what you're doing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no way that you're gonna make me buy a house I don't want to buy.
No, I'm not. Yeah, this isn't like normal like sales. Like you're calling someone trying to sell them something they don't want. I mean, these people are looking to buy a house. They need to be maybe educated on the process of the steps they need to take to buy the house. But all you're doing is just being that in-between person of them finding them the house and then getting them everything they need to be able to purchase the house, and then helping them along the way to that goal of purchasing the house they like.
I think that the fundamental of what's made you successful so far has been that training that you've been taking. But what you guys do is you role play scenarios. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Tom puts us in role play scenarios, yeah.
Because a lot of agents out there, they don't want to role play. They think it's like weird, or they think it's like a waste of time, or it's corny, or it's it's something. But look, you're much more comfortable, right? When you go and you show home, you know the dialogue, all the things that Tom has trained you to look out for are the things people say, and he knows it because he's been doing it for 30 years. So I think it's made, you got with a mentor, you got with someone who knew the ropes, and you fast-tracked your way there, and man, you're on track to do great numbers your first year. Definitely, I think you could qualify for a Rookie of the Year with our board. You're doing great. Yeah, so where do you see yourself next year or in the future? Like, what are your plans? What are your goals for?
Like Harry said, just keep throwing stuff up against the wall, keep going through the reps, not really counting anything or just keeping track of anything, just trying to, as buyers come in, leads come in, just call them, go through the reps. And I don't like this, put all my eggs in one basket. I don't like to say, well, I want this to happen, that to happen. I'm a firm believer that things happen in God's time. Yeah. And, I like teaching. I love being around the kids. I love coaching football. I love doing the real estate. So I think right now I'm in a good spot. I got a lot of things I love, so I don't want to start to have to pick and choose just yet. But if I have to run down that and cross that path and have to make a choice, that means I've done some things right. If I have to make that tough choice, but right now everything's playing out the way it's supposed to.
As long as you're living your life within balance, that's really all that matters, right?
Yeah, work-life balance is probably the thing now where I'm trying to get better at. Yeah. And I've gotten a little bit better at it. If you ask my girlfriend, I probably suck at it still, but I'm getting better at it, and I'll find that work-life balance and stuff like that, so I think it'll work out.
So Steve, what advice would you give a new agent, now that you've kind of made it through your first majority of a year already? What would you say is most important and crucial for them to do right off the bat or during their first year? What is really the most important thing for them to do?
If you can join an agency like Culture, where you're going to be able to train and get training, train before you even take the class to get your real estate license, train during that class, continue to train after you get your license, take suggestions from people that have been doing well, talk to your broker, ask for help. Don't assume that you're just going to figure things out. Ask someone to help you, so you know what you're doing, that someone that's done it before. And I would just say, just try to be better at your craft. It's like anything. Like, I'm a football coach. That's like me saying we're not going to practice. We're just going to play games.
Yeah, we're just going to show up and win.
Or I'm not going to teach you anything in this unit for math, and I'm just going to give you a test. Like, you're not prepared.
I love those analogies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe strongly in shadowing, and I believe that mentoring is incredible. So if you can find somebody that's where you want to be, just follow them and see what they're doing. Success leaves clues, is what they say. So yeah, well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate you joining us today, man. I'm really proud of you and what you've done so far. I know this is just like the surface, but I'm really excited to see what you're going to do.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your
Thank you for finally taking our suggestion and showing us what you got, man. Thank you. You exceeded my expectation. I know you were good, but man, you're beyond good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe to all our social media networks, such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where you can find us all under Culture Estate. If you like this video and you think someone could benefit from it, please don't forget to share. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Keep aggressive.